because of this, but because of just the way that we're tracking the averages, you know, you look at the basin and how their averages, their 110% is so high right now, but it's actually 3/4 to 4/4. It's 3/4 behind. After some work with DWS, we're updating it every quarter, but there's still a lag in those figures. So we'd like to take that requirement, still keep a job requirement, but take off the 110%, and then give an additional tax incentive for people who hire above 110, 115, and 125. So we'll be bringing that up at the Governor's Rural Partnership Board meeting in May as well. And that's it. Dan, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Linda. Let me pull up my agenda, see who we've got next. Office of Recreation, the new director of the Office of Recreation, Tom Adams. I'm sure a lot of you guys have met him already. He's a great guy doing great things in the office, but unfortunately he wasn't able to join us today. So we got his right-hand man, or I should say woman, Tara McKee, to fill in for him to do the Waypoint Grant preview.
Yes, and do you have the PowerPoint that he
sent you?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up real quick. Give me a quick second to share my screen. We'll be good to go. I'll just share my screen real quick. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right.
Hey, Dan, this is Tom Adams, too. I was able to get on the call.
Oh, good.
To the office.
Oh.
Well, then you can take it from here, Tom.
Oh, no, it's all you, Tara. I'm in the car, so I just wanted to at least get on the call. So hello to everybody.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. We are really excited that the Waypoint Grant is going to go forward, and excited to have Tom coming on as the director of the Office of Outdoor Recreation. Tom, do you want to give a brief introduction of yourself then?
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Thanks, Tara. So I spent the last 25 years in the outdoor industry and working anywhere as a forest guide outfitter in East Canyon to being the sales director at Tetzel for North America for the last 8 years. So spent a lot of time recreating within the state of Utah and in many of your counties out there. Most of my life my adult life has been spent rock climbing and hiking and mountain biking, so I've visited many of the counties that you guys live in and experienced a lot of that, and I look forward to working with each of you going forward, especially with this Waypoint Grant that Tara is going to present.
Thank you. I'm going to show the next slide on there. We, the last year's Waypoint Grant was awesome. It was a Waypoint Grant. We were able to provide $500,000 in funding for matching grants around the state, and that was able to leverage. I don't know if there's more points that you can kind of bring that up. It should have more data. So the original funding was $500,000. There were 19 total projects awarded. Many of you are aware of those. Some of them were, there was a natural themed playground in the Monticello area. There were programs. Iron County was able to get signage to mark the Old Spanish Trail. Another one was Sanpete County was able to make some big improvements and upgrades to the Airpine OHV Trail. And as Linda mentioned, Garden City was able to get some funding to add on to the trail that is going to be going around Bear Lake. There was Green River. I think that's an awesome one. They were able to get some funding to work on the Tusher Mesa Trail and so forth. The trails are the projects were varied. Everything from a boat take-in, put-out spot along the Jordan River to, as you see, OHV trails, mountain bike trails. There was a boulder park in Moab for children and beginners to learn how to climb on boulders and made it as safe as they can, and so forth. So that was a great project. We went to the legislature. You can show the next slide. And this year, we're really excited to. We had asked for $5 million with the thought that we'll be happy with many of the other things, but it was a great result in the House and Senate, unanimous approval in the committees, and when it came to the floor. In the end, it was a difficult season, but we were able to get $1 million one-time funding, and thanks to Representative Arendt, Senator Okerlund, and Brad Peterson, the former director of the Office of Outdoor Recreation, and for all their hard work. And this year, the programs will go to also the infrastructure projects that we've had in the past, but there will be $100,000 that we're setting aside to help with youth programs that get kids outside and recreating. They can be varied. So, it shows a picture here of Utah High School Mountain Biking League, but it can be anything in your community that you feel that would help to get kids out and recreating, especially underserved populations, where there's real need. So there will be various tiers of those, and we will be sending out more information on that as we finalize the details on those and get the application ready and sent out. That will overlap with the application period for the outdoor recreation infrastructure funding, which will be very similar to last year's. It will require matching funds from the community, and it will need to have some economic impact that they can show, or at least present as part of that. Is there anything else on the next slide? And it just, a great overview of the different types of projects. I will say that, be creative on these. The legislation talk not only about trails, trail infrastructure, and trail facilities, but projects for water-related outdoor recreation activities, wildlife watching opportunities, including bird watching, development of project that provides winter recreation amenities, construction or improvement of community parks that have amenities for outdoor recreation, and construction or improvement of a naturalistic and accessible playground, and so forth. And so you can contact me or Tom if you have questions or would like some help. And we hope to have some type of webinar as well to walk people through how to fill out the grant application and provide real help for those communities who would like some additional help as they are going through the application. So, are there any questions?
What's a good number to reach you and Tom?
My office number is 801-538-8686, or my cell number is 801-870-8504. And Tom, if you wanted to, his office number is 801-538-8873.
Very much.
Is that right?
It looks like you might have some questions in your chat box.
Okay. Okay, in my chat box. How do I? Okay.
Do you see that?
Open that up. I am okay. Yep. Okay. I've heard that the 300,000 is earmarked specifically for one county. Is that correct? If so, which county is it? That is Kane County, and they do have to match that, but that was what they were able to arrange with the legislation. We didn't have anything to do with that. Do you have an application deadline for 2016? We are working on that, and I will be sending out information. I need to make sure that I've got everybody's email so that you will get the latest information from us. But we will open up the application deadline this summer. So if you get our Utah Talks Outdoors newsletters, then you know you're on our email list. And if you do not, you'll want to get in touch with me. My email is T McKee, so T for Tara, and MCKEE at utah.gov. And let me know if you're not on our email list, and I will make sure that you are. And so Dan, maybe I'll put that here in the chat.
The chat,
at
great.
utah.gov. Okay. Did it go out? All right.
Yep.
How are you doing, man? I'm good.
But if you'll send out that, and I'll just make sure that I've got from Linda maybe the email group that you have, and try to get that information out so that everybody has it. Any other questions? You're good? Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, Tara, for that information.
Thank you.
And in a future webinar, not too long from today, we'll have more information about the Waypoint Grant, how to apply, what the application will look like, and things like that.
The deadlines.
The deadlines and all that great stuff. All righty then. Thanks a lot for that, Tara. Virginia, I see you on.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, great. Are you ready to give your presentation, Film-Friendly Utah preview?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am the director of the Utah Film Commission, and our mission is really to strengthen and grow the film industry overall in the state of Utah. A lot of that is done through helping bring productions to Utah to shoot both film projects, commercial projects, television series. We are working on a new program called Film-Friendly Utah, and this program really can help rural communities take advantage of economic opportunities that is available to them through film production. We currently work with regional offices. Some of you may be familiar if you're in these counties. We're in Heber, in northern Utah, Cache County, Ogden, Park City, Utah County, St. George, Emery, Kane County, and Moab. Sometimes these go through, in Moab there's a specific film commission, and the other offices are usually through their Convention and Visitors Bureau or Economic Development offices, depending on the county. But I know there's other counties, and we've certainly gotten requests from people to help understand the best ways to work with film companies that come in, or how to take advantage of that, how to promote themselves to these companies. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, about ways you could do that, and also let you know that we'll be launching this program officially in the next few weeks. We're still working out when and where these trainings will take place, and we'll keep you posted. But I wanted to introduce and turn the time over to Derek Mellis. He's one of our producer services reps, and he can talk a little more about what we look for in rural counties and what you need to be thinking about if you want to take advantage of this.
Thanks. I appreciate the time, Virginia. I hope everyone's doing well out there today. I just wanted to take a moment to direct everybody to our website if you're not familiar. The website is film.utah.gov. And on there, in your respective areas, you can go to the Resources tab and click on locations. Oh, looks like someone's doing that for me. Fantastic. And up on that, yeah, there you go. Click on resources, hit location. On there, you can search in your respective area. If you click on search online down at the bottom. And under all counties, why don't you just select somebody like, let's do Wasatch. Oh, no, sorry, you're in towns. Go, there you go, counties. I'm assuming this is Dan doing this.
Yeah, it's me.
So you can kind of see like some of the locations that we have for Wasatch County listed here. Not every county is as well represented, but we'd like to change that. We realize that each of you know your respective areas better than we ever will from up here, and if there are areas that you'd like to highlight in your counties, whether they're private or public lands, we'd love to get them listed on here. And you can do so by going out and taking some photos, or we could set up a time to come out and take some photos. Spend a day or two cruising around your county.
And that's something that we are working on as an office, where we try to make the rounds and visit all of your counties every year so that we can talk to you in person about the best ways to take advantage. And that's also part of this FilmFriendly Utah. So look for more information about that. Derek, do you want to talk a little bit about the kind of three main areas that people working on a film may look for in film or in a county? Sure.
Yeah, I mean, besides the the actual location that they'd be filming at, which is kind of the key thing that would bring a project like either a commercial or a feature film to your area, they'd also need some support in that area. So they would be looking for hotels that they could put their crew and cast up in, as well as other resources like caterers locally, restaurants that might cater for the productions. If there's a hardware store or something that they can get construction supplies at. These are all things that we love to get in our resource directory, which, Dan, if you click up on resources up at the top there, thank you, and then scroll down to crew and services. There you go. You can see you can do a search online down at the bottom, but before you click, oh, sorry, go ahead. In there, I was going to say you can actually register in the bottom right-hand corner if you're a support service, if there's somebody in your area that, like a caterer or perhaps even a crew member, somebody that's worked in film but now lives in one of your counties, they can go on there and register. But if you click on search online again, sorry, go ahead. You can also come in from this side and why don't you click on search support services. And this is also powered by Real Scout, the same company that we use for our location library. And you can search by a county, so you can see some of the things that are in your areas, other resources that are listed in that area. Maybe there's a hotel or a motel or even a crew member that you know of that works in the film industry, or that the film industry would want to know about if they were to come to your area, and you could encourage them to take the time to register on our site.
So we wanted to give you just a quick overview of what we currently have in your area. If something you're interested in pursuing, take a look at what's existing, and Dan's going to help us get an email out to all of you that kind of explains more about this FilmFriendly Utah program, how you can take advantage of it, and when we'll be hosting work workshops or training in your area. Anyone have any questions? All right.
No question?
Dan, I think just we'll get you some information that you can send out to your group.
All right, sounds great. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I have one question from Justin Fisher down in Garfield County. How is your relationship with federal agencies?
I'll let Derek answer that.
The ones that we work with the most, specifically the BLM, and we actually maintain pretty good relationships with a lot of the federal agencies. We found that there are certain locations, like the Bonneville Salt Flats, for instance, that draw more film production than others, and so the BLM field office that oversees that particular location is the Salt Lake City field office, and we have a really great relationship with Roxanne T., who's the realty specialist for them that handles the film permitting. We also have good relationships with the Forest Service, District 4's, our point of contact for all of District 4 is Melissa Hurst, and in the regional offices in the Forest Service, especially the realty specialists or the people that manage the permits in each of the areas, we have good working relations with. A lot of times, depending on the area, it can be anywhere from 15 days to get a filming permit up to 6 months, depending on what the film production's asking for. But at the end of the day, it's they know you're just making a movie and you're going to leave it like you found it, and they're usually good to work with.
Sounds great. Looks like I might have another question. Oh, no, I don't. Any other questions from anyone?
And Dan, if you want to go ahead and type my email in there for anyone who wants to get in touch. But as I said, we'll be sending out some additional info as well as both of our emails for more specific questions about your region.
All right. There we go.
All right. Thank you.
All right, if no more questions, I guess we will continue. And Shayla, to answer your question, yeah, I am recording it. I'll send out the link. We'll put it on YouTube. I'll send out the link, and I'll also post it to our website as well. So anyone who's not able to attend can listen later on their convenience. All right, so next thing, wanted to give a quick overview. I guess it's not so quick, not much of an overview either, about the targeted business tax credit. And this is something that's tied in with the enterprise zone tax credit. And it's something that's not utilized as much as it needs to be utilized throughout the state. And we are trying to get more people to use it this coming year. So that we don't risk losing it. So we really want to start getting everyone educated on what it is, so we can get the usage numbers up. So targeted business tax credit. So what it is, like I said, it's tied to the enterprise zone. In order for a company to use it, they have to be located within an enterprise zone. It's a way of receiving pretty much cash money for future projects. And I'm hoping Delin is on. Delin, are you on? No, he's not on. It doesn't look like. I was hoping he'd be on to give some insight to the tax credit. But we'll continue. In order for a company to be eligible, they have to be located within an enterprise zone, of course. In addition to that, they have to be located within a county that has a population of less than 25,000 and has an unemployment rate that for 6 months or more of each calendar year is at least 1 percentage point higher than the state average of unemployment. And if you have any questions, be sure to chime in, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. So, have to be located in an enterprise zone. If you don't know if you're located in an enterprise zone or if a certain company is located within an enterprise zone, go to locate.utah.gov, type in the address, click enterprise zone, and it will show you if that address is located within an enterprise zone. So, located enterprise zone, but it also has to be in a county with a population of 25,000 or less, and the unemployment has to be 1 percentage point higher for the past 6 months or more of the past calendar year. It has to be 1 percentage point or higher than the state average. And that's something that we would publish in our office. We'll publish a list of counties that meet that 1 percentage point or higher unemployment rate, and that'll be posted on our website and everything. All right. Have at least 51% of the employees at that facility, that's the one that's within the enterprise zone, 51% of the employees have to reside in that county where the enterprise zone is located, or has to be located in an enterprise zone that's immediately adjacent or contiguous to that county in which the enterprise zone is located. That's a lot of words to say. They either have to live within the enterprise zone or in an enterprise zone next to it, or in a county with that enterprise zone that's connected to the enterprise zone in which the company is located. Like I said, any questions, be sure to chime in. The company cannot be engaged in construction, retail trade, or public utilities activities. To continue. Okay, so once a company has determined they have that they are eligible, what they will do is they have to have an eligible project to receive this tax credit. We call that a new capital development or a community investment project. So, in order for a project to be a new capital development, it has to, one, the project must be a facility with construction cost of $100,000 or more. That includes additions to the existing facility or the enclosure of a space that was not previously enclosed. Second thing is the remodeling, which a remodeling of the site or a utility project would cost more than $100,000, or the purchase of real property. And in discussions with Dylan about this, he also said purchase of equipment that costs more than $100,000. I had one question. Do you have available the list of counties? Jack asked if we have the. We don't have that list yet. It's something that we'll actually have to update on a monthly basis because, like I said, of the previous 12 calendar months, if there's 6 months or more of unemployment rate being a point higher than a state average, then that county qualifies, which means that in any given month, a county may not qualify, but the next month they may qualify, and the reverse is possible. In any given month, a county may qualify, and then the next month they may not qualify, and the month after that they may qualify. So it's a changing document that we'll update every month. Unfortunately, right now we don't have an up-to-date one, but I'm hoping to get one and to get more information about the tax credit out to you guys, because there's a lot more community involvement when it comes to this type of tax credit. So I hope that answers your question, Jack. Shayla, would a hotel development qualify? That is a good question, and I was hoping Dylan would be on to answer that. But since he's not, I will jot that down and find that out for you. and get that answered over to you if a hotel development would qualify. Jack asked again, with the change in qualification, does a business just wait to apply when the counties qualify? Yes, but we'll go into that a little bit deeper. It was asked if a company is in the middle of applying and their county changes status, are they grandfathered in? That's a tough one. I know that if you have already been approved to receive the tax credit, and then while you're doing your project, your county is no longer eligible, you can still receive that tax credit. But let me find out for you from Dylan again if during the course of the application process they will still be grandfathered in. So let me write all these questions down. And like I said, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. If not, I'll go to the source, which is Dylan, and ask him, and be sure to get back with you guys about the answers to that question. All right, continuing. A project must be a community investment project within an enterprise zone. The definition of a community investment project is a project that includes one or a combination of the following criteria in addition to the normal operation of the business applicant. One, the project results in substantial new employment. The word substantial is actually not defined in the statute anywhere. So as long as you're hiring, as long as it results in new employment, we would consider that. Also, new capital development. So the project has to have capital investment back into the company in order to be eligible. A portion of the community investment project during each taxable year for which the business applicant claims targeted business tax incentive. So a portion of the investment. Dylan explained that to me a little bit better. I'm trying to remember what he said. I'll just move on. If you have any questions, let me know on that one. Project may not be carried forward or carried back, and it cannot exceed $100,000 in total amount for the community investment project. So the tax credit cannot exceed $100,000, and I've got that broken down how the tax credit is paid to the company over 3 years. Moving on. So when a company is ready to apply, they have to submit an application to the local zone administrator. The local zone administrator is someone who has been designated by either the county where the enterprise zone is, or the city where the enterprise zone is, has to be designated by them as the administrator of the zone. Usually, it is the economic development director of that county or of that city, and so they are usually designated as a local zone administrator. So, business within that area that's in an enterprise zone in that area, they would submit the application to that local zone administrator. And I'll be sending out the application with this slideshow presentation, so you can get a good look at what the actual application entails. So the duty of the local zone administrator after receiving the application is just to verify that, one, the company is eligible, and two, that the project is eligible as well. Once the local zone administrator verifies and certifies that the company and the project is eligible, they send it in to the Office of Rural Development. They send it to me, send it to Jake, send it to Linda. They need to send it in before January 31st of each year. Before January 31st. The applications will be reviewed by the Office of Rural Development in January and February of each calendar year. And we won't accept applications that are submitted between June 1st and December 31st of the calendar year. Once it is received by the Office of Rural Development, we then forward it to the Executive Committee of the Governor's Rural Partnership Board, and they are the ones who rate and prioritize the applications. The reason that the applications are rated and prioritized is because we have a finite amount of tax credits to give out throughout the states. Usually it's $300,000. And so we have to, well, they have to, the Executive Committee of the GRPB, they have to rate and prioritize the applications in case we receive more than what we have to offer. So the way that the applications are prioritized is by, one, the nature and impact of the project, two, the projected new capital development, and three, the projected substantial new employment. So using those criteria, the Executive Committee of the GRPB will rate and prioritize the applications and then assign each application a dollar amount for the tax credit. Awards. Awards are given over a 3-year period. And they are allocated as follows. $500,000 refundable tax credit for 1 year of the award, and $25,000 refundable tax credit for 2 of the 3 years. So the awards are given over a 3-year period. In the case where the company receives $100,000, they receive $50,000 the first year, $25,000 the second year, and $25,000 the third year. Point number 2, the Executive Committee may elect to award available tax credit in a proportionate amount based upon the scores of each application during the solicitation period. Or the Executive Committee may elect to award available tax credits in an equal amount to each business applicant during the solicitation period, which is a way of saying that based on the availability of tax credits and based on the amount of companies that applied, we might evenly distribute the $300,000 across all the applicants, so they receive an equal amount, or they receive a proportionate amount, depending on how many people applied. So it all depends on how many companies apply. In talking to Lynn, he said in 1 year they had 6 companies apply, and in that case, it's competitive when it comes to who receives what and how much. Some years less than 3 apply, and so in that case we've got more money to play with, but we cannot give more than $100,000 per company. So also keep that in mind. Oh, and that is it. When we get closer to the end of the year, the end of the calendar year, we'll also have another webinar where we'll go over the targeted business tax credit again. This is kind of I want to say a preview, an in-depth preview on the tax credit. But like I said earlier, we want to start using this tax credit. We want it to be utilized throughout the state. Another opportunity for companies to receive money for projects. And speaking with Dylan, he's fairly certain that a company can use the targeted business tax credit and the rural fast track grant for the same project. However, a company cannot use targeted business tax credit and the enterprise zone tax credit or the recycling zone tax credit for the same project. So this is another arrow and for companies looking to get a leg up on the competition. And it's open to, like I said, and if you're located within an enterprise zone within a county with 25,000 or less, you're eligible to use it. And so by all means, apply to your local administrator and get the ball rolling on this.
Dan, this is Linda. I have a question.
Sure.
Who would you say is your target audience? What businesses would know that they might qualify?
It's not.
Obviously, they. Go ahead.
It's not restrictive. It's open to businesses as long as they're not, as it says here, as long as they're not engaged in construction, retail, trade, or public utilities. It's open to them as long as they satisfy these other eligibility requirements. But
so why would they choose to do this tax credit versus the enterprise zone tax credit?
Well, this tax credit is refundable. So even though you might not have a tax liability, you can use these tax credits. Number one. Number two, it's cash. It's cash money in your pocket during those 3 years. So that's one advantage it has over the enterprise zone. If a company, if their project is not eligible for this, of course they can still look at the enterprise zone tax credit, especially if they're hiring and things like that. But this is a refundable tax credit, so that by itself is an advantage over other tax credits which are non-refundable.
Dan.
Go for it. Yeah.
Dan.
Yep, I can hear you.
This is Representative Westwood. Tell me what education is being done for the different businesses. Are they aware of this? And maybe that's what we're getting at here. Is maybe we need to do a little more education.
Exactly. This is a program that's very little utilization throughout the states. And the reason we are pushing it now is so that we can get the word out to economic development, to local business leaders and things like that, that this thing is in existence, that it needs to be utilized. So we are hoping between now and toward the end of the year that we can get the word out with the economic development directors, with Jake traveling the state, that we can get the word out that this tax credit does exist, and we need to start increasing the utilization of it, so that when companies start thinking about next year, thinking about what projects they have next year, what they could do next year, they know that this exists, and they have that as a point of consideration when it comes to planning what projects they're going to do next year. So you're right, Representative Westwood. This is something that we really want to start pounding the pavement on, pushing it, getting the word out that it does exist, and that we like for companies to start using it.
Good. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining. Any other questions? Like I said, I've jotted down a couple of questions I wasn't able to answer. I'll be sure to get those answers at some point today or tomorrow. And when I send out the link with this recording and the presentation, I also have the answers to those questions within that email, so everyone knows what's going on and everything. So, if there are no other questions, we will move on to the last part of our webinar. Any calendar items that need to come up. Linda, I'll turn the time over to you. Do you have any calendar items that everyone needs to look at?
No, other than the Governor's Rural Partnership Board is on May 10th, and I believe it's from 9 to 1. I'm actually driving to another meeting, so I don't know if Dan or Jake, if you're at your desk, if that's right. It will be at the Canyonlands room at GoEd, and we'll be sending out agendas shortly. I think we've already sent out a save the date.
Yeah, we'll send you a save the date.
Look forward.
Yeah.
And Dan, I appreciate you doing the research on this tax credit. I believe the history of it is that there are a number of people that didn't qualify for a fast track grant, and they qualified for an enterprise zone tax credit, but they didn't make income, and so they didn't receive a tax credit.
Exactly.
So I think this is like a companion piece for those people. There are enough of them. If we watch for them, if they can't participate in the rural fast track, let's make sure that they consider the enterprise zone And then if they do meet these other qualifications and they put in this huge capital investment but don't get a return for a couple of years, let's encourage them if they qualify to participate in this other one. Anyway, I appreciate your effort on getting this put together for today, Dan. Thank you.
My pleasure. Do I have any other questions, comments, concerns from anyone out there? Oh, yes. Janet wanted me to mention the Rural Summit, which is August 4th and 5th at SUU. I'm assuming it's the same place that it's usually held. So that's another calendar item for you guys, Rural Summit. And we usually have the GRPB meeting, the I guess summer GRPB meeting in conjunction with the Rural Summit. We hold it the day before, so I guess August 3rd, but we'll send you out more information about that. Like Linda said, May 10th is our next GRPB meeting. I believe 9 to 1, 10 to 1. And it will be held here at the GOED offices in the Canyonlands conference room. So we'll be sending out more information about that here very soon. So expect an email from Missy about that. Do I have any other questions, concerns, comments from anyone? Any other calendar items that we need to get on everyone's calendar? All right. If not, we will adjourn for this month. Actually, let me see if we scheduled a webinar for next month. We may not have, since we have the GRPB meeting next month. Oh, we do have a webinar next month. May 17th is the next webinar, Bear webinar. So, rural webinar, we should say. So, May 17th, put that on your calendars for our next webinar, as always, from 8:30 to 9:30. All right. Any other questions? And if not, we will adjourn until next month. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. And keep your eye out for the email with the link to the recording of this webinar and the presentations that were given. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.